very, very happy to be here today with Özlem. And we are going to ask our Laurie Özlem a couple of questions about TRNC, the current laws to buy a property on Northern Cyprus, because there's a lot that changed and did not really change. Anyways, we'll get to the details. So, hi Özlem.
Hi. Okay, you introduced me before. My name is Özlem Özbek. I'm a lawyer here in North Cyprus. And also, thanks for inviting me to your beautiful office with a nice view of Kyrenia. Okay.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming. And maybe quick introduction. So Özlem has been practicing law for, I think, 10 or 20 years even?
Yes. I was in Turkey before, but I have been here mostly, I came here at 2012. And I have been here working and practicing in property law. That's it.
So I have to say that I'm very happy that we work with you, because I saw that, Özlem is really experienced and really knows what she's talking about, and very engaged in delivering the best customer service. And this is a working ethic that is not so easy to find, not in any profession, but especially with lawyers is also not easy. So, okay, quick introductions. Me, you guys know anyways, I suppose from other YouTube videos. So I want to start and ask you, the political situation here on Northern Cyprus, or Cyprus in general. Start like this. Do you think there will ever be a reunification of the south and the north? What do you think?
You start from a very difficult question. What I'm thinking, after 45 years, I don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't think so. This island will be reunited maybe soon. Maybe in the future. It may be, but nowadays I don't think so.
Thank you. I think lately we had, a couple of days ago, we had a celebration of the Independence Day, which was like 20th July 74, I think. Mm-hmm. And what I see, there's many foreign real estate agents on the island. They don't talk any Turkish. They don't know the culture. They don't know the history. For example, I had a customer who shared a video of battleships, warships, and people got scared and they said, "Oh, there's war," but it was the military parade for celebrating, So, what do you think about? There's a lot of foreign agents on the island. What are your thoughts about that in the current property market?
Firstly, for the foreign agents, they should know our culture and our history firstly well, because when they see a war ship or war, planes, and they thought that there is war or there will be war. No, we have some celebration days. For example, 20th of June, as you told. And this year, we have a very great celebration, which is it's 45th of the Republic. What can I say? We celebrate our Republic. Mm-hmm. So they may think that the warships are for, I don't know what is there for, but it is only for celebration.
Yeah, so it's the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. In Turkish we say Kuzey Kıbrıs Türk Cumhuriyeti. So the direct translation is Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. And Northern Cyprus is currently only recognized by Turkey. So I think one of the direct, or maybe one of the very few downsides we see of this, in my opinion, but I would like to get yours, is that the Turkish airport on this side only has direct flights from Turkey. So you can access the whole world by air jump, but you always take a stop in Istanbul. So what do you think about that? Will they change in the future? Do you expect that maybe at some point there will be international flights opening to Ercan? do you see this as a big negative? What do you do to go to other places in the world? What is your insight on this?
What I heard, what I read the news about from UK, there may be international flights directly to North Cyprus, but I'm not sure. We will see in the future. But all my clients say that it's not that hard to come to North Cyprus via Istanbul or Antalya, somewhere else, with the connection flights. So everybody can come here, access North Cyprus very easily, as they told me so.
Okay.
You asked me what am I doing? I both use Larnaca Airport, Paphos Airport, Ercan Airport to go Europe.
So Özlem also has, like most of our European buyers, the possibility due to your legal status to go to the south. When you have that, you can just use the airport in the south, which is like 1.5 hours from here, right, by car?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then let's dig a little bit into the legal details. So, one last thing before we go to legal, the laws that change, etc. The property market. You have seen a lot here of the last decades, or 12 years, even 13 years, and you've invested yourself. I hope I'm allowed to say this.
Yes.
And so you have properties, you help also our customers. You have lots of customers from Turkey as well, investors. What have you seen in the Northern Cyprus market the last 10, 12 years? You know, prices, properties, projects. What did you see? Maybe you can explain a little bit the history in your point of view.
If I want to start from me, for example, I came here and I bought an apartment here, and it was £60,000, and now I can sell it for more than £100,000. And all the new projects are every time, every year increasing. And if you ask me, it's a very good invest in North Cyprus, because you can earn, for example, you can rent your property or you can resell your property, and in pounds, and you can't you all the time gain from your invest, and you can also earn from pounds. You can rent your property. And I'm not an estate agent. I'm a lawyer. And also, what I can say simply, it's good to invest in North Cyprus. You can't lose anything. You always win.
You say you can never lose, but I heard that, over the last 10, 12 years, that there also has been, some few fluctuations. So maybe can you quickly talk about those? What did you see in market changes? I think the last 3 years we saw a crazy increase in prices, right? It was like very high. But maybe you can go a little bit into what happened the last 10, 12 years in terms of market. Were there any, in your opinion, any changes in prices? Was there, did it go down at any point? And what was the reason for it?
You know better than me, but it never gets down. These prices always goes up. Even there was a COVID, in 3 years, we locked ourselves in that island, and after the COVID, it doubled, the prices tripled, and never go down.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have this 21st of May this year, and there have been lots of rumors about it, talks, and on YouTube, on TikTok, people, estate agents, especially those that don't know Turkish, and because they, even those that know a bit Turkish, but they're originally from Germany, there's so much, and they talk about it, and they, I feel a bit bad sometimes, to be honest, for the people that do want to come to such a place, because then they look at all this stuff, and it's so confusing for them, I would think. So, what is this new law that was set into place 21st of May? We already talked a lot about it, so thank you for all your insight and your opinions about it. But maybe you can quickly give a summary. What is this law? Why did it come? And what changed?
On 21st of May, there is an amendment with the law. But this law is mostly for the ones who doesn't have title deeds, which affects. For example, if you don't have a title deed, if you come to North Cyprus, buy a property without title deed, and you have the permission, you apply for the PTP, for the ministry, because as a foreigner you need to apply to the ministry to get a property here. And if it's ready and you didn't want to get the title deed on your name, this law amendment gives you 6 months to get the title deed on your name. For example, if you have more than one property as a foreigner, it was also before the same. This law didn't change. A foreigner may buy only one property from North Cyprus. But some of my clients bought more than one properties with the sales contracts. So with that law, the government wants us to register these sales contracts, or you may change from the developer. Normally, how you register these kind of properties, you need to go to the ministry and pay 1% tax for them, and you need to sell the, more than one property within 2 years. And also, with the amendment, you can only buy 1 dönums, which is 100 and 338 square meters land from North Cyprus. And also, you can buy 1 properties, as I told you, but for Turkish citizens, they may buy 3 properties. Yes.
Before the new law, they could also buy 3 properties, Turks?
No.
1.
With this law amendment, they can buy 3 properties.
And before, they could only buy 1, right, Turks?
Yes, Turks can only buy 1, but now they can buy 3.
Okay.
And also, with that amendment, you can buy a house in 3,300 square meters land. Mm-hmm. You can buy a house in that land. Also, what else shall I say? And also, for my clients who has, for example, they have trust properties, they need to register these trust properties.
We'll get to that in a second. Okay. So just to recap, because I think it was a lot. So you're saying the biggest issue in the new law is when I buy a property where the title deed is not yet ready, correct?
Yes, yes. Because they give us, this amendment give us some limits. For example, you have a sales contract, you didn't apply for the permission to purchase. You need to apply for the permission to purchase within 6 months. Okay. We have limits for that kind of client.
So maybe take us quickly to the process. Now let's say I found a property, I'm a customer, I found my property, I have a new project that I like, and I selected my apartment, 2+1, 3 rooms. Take me quickly to the process, and the construction has maybe not even started, it's off plan. So could you say what is the first step, second step, how does it work right now?
Nowadays, they give us 6 months, maybe they can extend it, no problem within these days. For example, you want to purchase a project from a developer, you go and make a sales contract with them, and you can register it to the land registry easily, there's no problem. But in the future, the law amendment tell us that you cannot make the sales contract. You can't register to the land registry. So what we are going to do, we need to wait up to obtain the title deeds, and then you're going to change the title deed on your name. We will see in the future.
So as I understand, you say right now, basically, things are like before the new law. I can still buy the property by sales contract.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, okay. And I can register my sales contract. For registering, I need to get certain papers from the developer. And what are these papers? Maybe you can quickly say what we need for from the developers so that we can register the contract.
Okay, what we need nowadays, the developers apply to the planning office, and with that letter we can easily register. But for the permission to purchase, the government needs a building permit from us, at least if the title deeds are not obtained. Within 1 year, we can use the building permit as the title deed, I can say. But from now on, we can't use only sales contract for the permission to purchase applications.
Okay. So, you know, we've discussed this law and the effects of it a long time. So a little bit later, I will also ask you what you think is going to be the effect on the market prices of these changes. Yeah. Okay, so we said that basically, legally, nothing really changed. We have this kind of deadline in around November, 21st of November, I think this year, which is from now on about September, October, November, so 3 months around about in the future. And so, as much as I understand, currently I can still register my contract until November, that the current law says. And I understand that many people expect that because Northern Cyprus needs foreign investment. This is,
Yes, of course.
so I think you and many expect that maybe there will be prolongation of this period and we can still register. So what do you think about how is this going to work?
What can be a problem for this, for the new projects, maybe in the future, if they don't let us to register the sales contracts? So first, we need to get the permission to purchase from the ministry. Nowadays, as you know, it takes a while to get this permission. So, in my opinion, they will change this period and they can make it shorter. For example, yes. If, for example, if I can apply for the permission to purchase and I can obtain it within 1 month, 2 months, there will be no problem because I don't need to register my sales contract to the land registry, for example. But I don't know, we will see in the future.
Okay. Let's quickly now, so we discussed that kind of the things go on as they were before, even though there was a lot of trouble and fears about the new law. And to be frank, this new law, and because of all the information that was spread, this is my belief, on YouTube, social media, even though materially nothing changed, but thanks to all these great agents that don't speak Turkish and don't really understand, I suppose, or I don't know why they do it. But kind of the market is slower than last year. I think that's, maybe it's not the only reason, to be fair, to the other agents, because also on the south side, last year was a hike in demand. You know, we were in a real estate fair a couple of weeks ago, and they said the same. 2023 was a spike in demand, and right this year is a lot slower. So maybe it's not only the new law. I think in general, currently in the world, because of inflation, because of all the conflicts. Okay, something very important. I want to get you insight on something else, Özlem. So, you know, I have especially German customers quite often. They say, "Ooh, we are so close to Lebanon. We're so close to Israel. And then there's the war in Palestine. And there's lots of refugees that might come in the island, you know, and destroy here, you know, I don't make difficulties, whatever." What is your thinking about this? Could we be in a war zone? Could we be flooded with refugees? How does this affect us? How do you see all of this? Can you sleep at night, or do you feel safe? Or all right, I'm just exaggerating a little bit, but let's hear what you have to say, as you're living here for a long time.
I can sleep very well at night, but if I have something to do, I can't. But not because of the Lebanon or the Middle East. We have been here for more than 45 years, you know. Nothing happened to that island. Hopefully, in the future, nothing will happen to that island. Because strategically, it's a very important island.
This is the third largest in the Mediterranean, I think.
Yes,
yeah.
and Before talking like this, you need to come here and live here for a while, not for a week or for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for 2 months, 3 months. You need to live here and see the peace and how nice our island is, and then you can talk about our island.
So, but why? So some people say, especially people that read the press, and they say, but the conflict is so close, to Lebanon, etc. So, do you feel? But you're not scared of this, This I'm not either. I have to say, because I know a bit, but I just want to get your insight. So, you don't feel that, or Turks here in general, I think I never heard from Cypriots or Turks that they are worried about this conflict, that it could mean that they will be endangered or something like this. Or did you ever hear this?
No, I didn't. From Cypriots, I didn't. First time I'm hearing from you.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, people can say anything to anywhere. I don't know. I don't have an opinion,
Okay.
but I'm not scared.
Good to know. So we said that there was the new law, and we also said that mostly affected are those people that bought in the past, before the new law, more than one property, by trust, for example. So can you quickly say, for these people that bought more than one property, what do they need to do now?
If you buy a property with trust, you have to register it within 75 days. But I think this period will be extended soon, I guess, because lots of my clients didn't register it yet because of the tax office. Tax office needs extra documents sometimes, but in Nicosia they start registration. What the government wants to do, they want to check how many properties you bought from North Cyprus with trust or without trust. That's the reason. And also I forget to say about the new amendment, you cannot buy shared land. Foreigners cannot buy shared land. Yes, hisseli.
Yeah.
Yes, but for only lands. For the apartments, up to 3% you can buy shared.
Up to 3%.
Yes, or houses, apartments or houses. You can buy up to, for example, with your daughter, your husband, your wife, all together 3% can buy shared title deed for an apartment. But for the land, you cannot buy. The foreigners cannot buy.
Okay. So let's say now I bought, I'm a foreigner, and I bought more than one property. Let's say I bought 4. So I think there's like a deadline, like 2 years or something, where the government tells me, so first I need to register my properties,
Yes.
and then I have a deadline of 2 years, I think, to sell those properties. Is that correct?
Yes.
One second.
You need to- If you have more than one house in North Cyprus, first you need to choose which one you want to have and get the title deed on your name, and the rest you need to go to the ministry and pay 1% tax, and then within 2 years you need to sell these properties or transfer the title deeds.
With 1% tax, you mean the stamp duty, right? You're not talking about the 6% real estate tax.
No, it's about for the ones which is more than one. For example, you have 4 sales contracts, but you can only have one. So the rest of this sales contract, you need to go and register to the ministry with the 1% tax, and then the ministry know that these are yours, and then you need to resell these properties. Yes.
And resell, I can resell them within 2 years, is that correct? And I can sell to foreigners, to Turks, to Cypriots, whoever I want?
Yes, doesn't matter. You can sell whatever, whoever you want to sell, but for the parcels, it's also in the amendment of law. For example, half of the parcel shouldn't be sold to the same, for example, to the relatives or the same kind of the country.
Same nationality.
Yes, the same nationalities.
Okay. All right, then, okay, so to wrap it up, we saw that especially those are affected that bought more than one property in the past. So I think there's 2 points left, two important topics. One is investors, for us investors are also quite important. So what can be a solution for them? We will go into, and what does the current law, what does it mean for the expected market in the now and in the next couple of years here. Yeah, let's start with, so this law and these new changes. There was lots of panic at the beginning, lots of panic. I remember even us when we checked it at first, when it really came out, we were reading it, and everybody. So what is the effects of this law, do you think? Now, does anything change? Will there something be happening to the prices, to the market, to foreigners? Will the sun go away? I'm joking, but yeah, and seriously, is something seriously gonna change due to this law?
Mostly there's a misunderstanding that before foreigners can buy more than one property, but with the amendment of the law they cannot buy. But it was the same before. But I don't know, maybe some developer didn't inform people that you cannot buy more than one property, or they decide to do this, make the sales contracts for the only one person, for example, more than one, more than two. I know some of my clients has 4 sales contracts on one people's name. It was the same before. But what changed? The trust companies has changed. Before, a foreigner can set up a company with a local person and make a construction. But now it changed. The investment type of investment will change, because some of my clients decide to make directly contracts with the construction companies and not with the trust companies, but doing some contracts with them, and also wants to cooperate and make constructions.
Okay, so one thing is, investors. As I promised before, we want to talk about investors. The island has been really quite a chance for quite some people when they invested in the past, because it's a huge development. And still, from what I can see, there's still lots of land, there's still possibilities, and the Turks are very worksome, I have to say. I see this with you, I see this, especially the Turks, they are working a lot. So when people work a lot and when the infrastructure is there, usually there is to be expected growth. So is there still solutions for investors to come to the island and make investments to the island? I don't want to go into the specifics right now, but in general, is this still possible? What do you say?
Yes, what changed about investors? For example, before, they can set up a company with the local people in North Cyprus, and
Before the law.
yes, with the 49 foreigner and 51 local,
Cypriot.
yes, Cypriot. Now it changed, but there are also solutions. We will talk.
Okay. So there's some things that we might need to discuss directly with an investor, but there's still options. Okay, so most important, what are your expectations about the Northern Cyprus property real estate market now in the short term due to this law, midterm, and what do you see for the next years on Northern Cyprus? What's going to happen? What do you think?
I think in the short term, as I told before, nothing has changed. No problem for us. But when this period, they give us some, limits, some specific dates. After these days, I can't predict, because they need to extend, because some of my clients still are thinking what they should do with their sales contracts, or what they are going to do. But as we discussed, it's about the old, who buy old ones, with sales contract, properties with sales contracts. But in the future, I don't know. I think there may not be a huge change. All the time, North Cyprus is going up and up at the real estate market, and will be in the future, I guess.
So what I understand, also in our preparations for this interview and in the past, I think you always said that, you know, that what we saw the last 10, 15 years was a steady increase of the...
Yes.
And so I understand you expect that, let's say, 5 years later, things will be even higher, prices will be higher, and there will be more developments. So you believe the markets will still be going up?
Yes, I guess. We discussed before. Yes, it will go up, I think, because you know our island. Everything is limited. So the properties, if you are talking about properties, also it's limited. So when I buy a property, for example, Kyrenia, I may not find a similar one in the future because everything is limited here. So it cannot be cheaper, it can be higher in the future.
You need to pay more for the same property.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Özlem, for coming. I know you are busy, as always. And so it was great. And we'll do some other talks like this in the future. I think it's good for
Maybe
people.
in Turkish.
Maybe in Turkish, exactly. Because Turks also are really interested in Northern Cyprus, and they started to buy quite a bit here.
Yes, now North Cyprus is more advantageous for the Turkish citizens. Yes.
Because they can buy 3 now, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
All right, thank you, Özlem. Thank you.